Merry Christmas, everybody. Wait, Christmas, Miss Elizabeth? It's August. But today we are actually going to be talking about the Christmas story. Now, why would we talk about the Christmas story in the middle of the summer? Let's find out. The last few weeks we've been talking about Jesus coming to earth, and we've been looking at the stories at the beginning of the New Testament. So today we are talking about Jesus's birth and him actually coming to earth as a little baby. And that is what the Christmas story is all about. Take a look over here. Have you ever seen one of these? Do you know what this is? It's a nativity set, or a manger scene, some people call it. And it has all of the people that are involved in the Christmas story. So whenever you hear the Christmas story or see these up, you usually think about all these little kind of characters that are a part of that story. But all of these people were real, and this story really happened. That's what Christmas is all about. But how well do you know the Christmas story? Do you know it just because of what you've seen in a nativity scene? Or maybe what somebody else has told you, or some songs that you've sung? Well, today we're going to look at the pieces of our nativity scene and see if you think that they're in the right place. Let's start with this one. Do you know who this is? That's right, it's Mary. Who was Mary? Yeah, Mary was the mother of the baby. Remember we talked last week about the angel that came to tell Mary that she was going to have a baby? And what did they name that baby? Jesus. Very good. Which means the Lord saves. So Mary is right there in the center of our nativity scene. Is she in the right place? Yeah, Mary's pretty important. How about this guy? Do you know who this guy is? Yeah, it's Joseph. Joseph is the earthly father of Jesus. So there he is in the middle of the scene with Mary. Also a good place for him. He was really there. And of course, right here in the middle, we have baby Jesus. Is baby Jesus in the right spot? Definitely. He's the center of attention. The story is all about him. So let's put him back. Now let's look at these other pieces. How about this one? Do you know what this is? It's a donkey. Why do you think a donkey is important in the story of Jesus's birth? Yeah, I hear a lot of people say that Mary rode a donkey to Bethlehem, and that's why the donkey is important. But did you know that nowhere in the Gospels does it say that Mary rode a donkey? And she probably didn't. They may have used a donkey, maybe a wagon, because of the long journey, but nowhere in the Bible does it say that Mary rode a donkey to Bethlehem. So really, we can put him just about anywhere because he was probably just there in the stable. Now, I don't have a shepherd, but I do have a sheep, and he's right here next to the baby. Is that where we find the shepherd in the middle of the story? No, it's not. Actually, the shepherds were way up on the hillside tending to their sheep. They were out working when they were suddenly visited by someone really amazing. Do you know who that was? This one, way up at the top. We almost always see the angel at the top of a manger scene or the top of the nativity set, but actually the angel appeared to the shepherds who were way out in the field. Of all of the people that God could have sent an angel to tell them that the Son of God had been born, he sent an angel to tell shepherds, hard workers out in the field. And they came from there to see baby Jesus. Now the last people I have here are these guys over here. 1, 2, 3. Do you know who these guys are? Wise men. Yeah, and usually we see them here bringing gifts to the baby, because even today, when a baby's born, we bring presents. Now, what is important about these wise men? Well, let me tell you. When King Herod heard that baby Jesus was going to be born, that there was going to be this new king, he did not want to give up being king. So he brought in the wise men and asked them to find where the baby had been born. And then he told them, take these gifts so that we can welcome the new king. Did he really want to welcome the king? No, he wanted to get rid of the king. He actually wanted to kill baby Jesus. He wanted the wise men to come back to him, tell him where they found the baby so that he could come and get rid of the baby, and that baby would never become king. But the wise men, they traveled a very long way, and a lot of the times we see them right there at the manger. However, they weren't there the night of Jesus's birth. They had a very, very long journey, and they followed the star for a long amount of time. We don't know exactly how long, but we do know that it wasn't the night that Jesus was born. This life of Jesus continues past this moment in history where he was born. This story continues for years and years when he was little, showing us that God always had a plan for him. Because when they did finally arrive and they gave him gifts, they realized that he was not just some king, but that he was the Son of God. And they were given a message to not return to Herod, but to go around the other way. So King Herod could not find out the information from them on where that baby was. Now, why are there three? Do we know for sure that there are three wise men in the Bible? We don't. If you go into your Bible and look, it never says that there were three wise men. It only mentions 1, 2, 3 gifts. But there could have been 2 wise men. There could have been a whole multitude of wise men. We don't know. But what is important about the story is this right here in the middle, baby Jesus. And because of all of these pieces here, we know that this was the most important birth in all of history. And so it doesn't matter if it's middle of August or middle of December. We can celebrate Jesus's birth anytime, and we can learn about it anytime, because his birth changed everything for everyone forever. But I do want to encourage you to go into your Bible and actually read the story. Don't just listen to the songs. Don't just look at the manger scenes. Don't just hear it from me. Go into the Bible and read the story. Find out something new that you might not have learned. This story is one of the most important stories you will ever hear, because Jesus is the most important person you can learn about. The other thing I want to tell you is when the shepherds found out about Jesus and they came and they met him, they didn't just go back to their little field and their little sweet sheep and go back to their job. No, they went and told everyone that they could come across that Jesus had been born. And I don't want you to wait until Christmas. Don't wait another 4 months to tell people that Jesus is important. Go and find someone today, tomorrow, and say, hey, did you know the story about Jesus? And let them know what you know. See you next week.